Didn't even have to detonate that one with the 7-sided strike. Alright, so we'll apply Exploding Bomb. Hit him 2-3 times. We start to take damage. Oh, there he goes. Guys, bored to death. Welcome to another video. First, I want to do a quick update. So I hadn't put out a video in a while, and the reason for that is I always kind of said YouTube was a hobby for me, and after a while, putting out a video every weekend, it started to feel like work. So I eventually just stopped making videos in order to make some time to play for myself, playing, solo and stuff like that. But, it's been a couple of years, the pandemic is on, I figured, hey, it might be time to maybe put out a new video and, just do something, short. I'm not going to do anything like I was before, where I was doing a video every week. I just might put out a video sporadically here or there. So I chose Diablo 3 for a couple of reasons. Number one, if you haven't heard yet, Season 23 is out. One of the great things about Season 23 is now your follower can have an entire complete set of gear just like you. And some of the gear, actually, like the Nemesis bracers here, if you take a look, it says it emanates. That means you get the effect of the same thing. It would be the same as if it were equipped to you. So if I hit a shrine or a pylon, it'll spawn an enemy champion, and that helps you get through rifts. Another reason I wanted to make a video about Diablo 3 is I'm trying to get my brothers into it, and I got my brother Tom into it. He bought Diablo a couple of days ago. He's been playing with the Necromancer. My brother down in Florida, John, still hasn't gotten on board. I'm going to give you some really good numbers here. I'll put them on the screen later on. So when I play a game, one of the things I look for is the amount of money that you're putting in versus the amount of hours you get of entertainment out of it. So right now I'm playing like Persona 5 Royale. I'm going to get about 120 hours out of it. The game is $60. So if we do the math and do the division, that's about 50 cents an hour. So if you think about that, how much money you pay for a movie or for a Netflix subscription, video game is actually kind of a cheap hobby because, you put a little bit of money in. You get a lot of hours of entertainment out of it. So Diablo 3, at this point, because I've been playing it since it was released, I probably put it at about 3,000 hours. So I did the math, and that works out to 2.5 cents per hour, because I got $60 for the Diablo 3, $15 for the Necromancer, that's 75, divide by 3,000, 2.5 cents an hour. Or is it even less than that? I gotta go back and check the math. I think it's 2.5 cents an hour. But it's a ridiculous amount of value for the amount of money you're putting into it, and that's why I've been pushing it so hard, guys, is you've got this expanded gameplay that just goes on almost forever, and you can do it over and over again with all these different characters. I'm just using a monk right now. You've got the wizard, the barbarian, the necromancer, the demon hunter, etc., etc. You've got all this potential gaming playtime, and it's just this incredible value, and Blizzard really does keep up with this game. Alright, so without further ado, I do want to kind of show you the new monk I actually built, because I actually built a completely new monk. And I haven't gotten rid of my old monk. I'm going to actually kind of change it later on. It's just that the monk needs a complete rebuild. I was using the base set for that monk, and I think I need to upgrade to... There's another monk that's actually supposed to be really good. It's a Tempest Rush build. But I kind of didn't want to stop using a Tempest Rush build. I kind of wanted to use a build that was more based on what the monk's strengths are. And I think the monk's strengths are basically that the monk plays like a fighting game character inside a role-playing game. And it's one of the things I liked about Diablo 2 and playing the assassin. Somebody posted online that, this monk is basically a combination of the paladin from Diablo 2 and the assassin. So, it has a buff skill where it's using basically your mantras to buff your allies, but you can also play it more like a fighting game character, and that's actually kind of why I like this set, because we're running the Uliana set. So I'm not going to give you the complete breakdown on set. I'm just going to highlight some key features. If you'd like to know how to build this set, I got this actually from Ryker, R-H-Y-K-K-E-R. It's the same build that he put out in Season 13, and he even said when he made the video that this build is actually going to be pretty much unchanged as time goes on. So, you can feel pretty confident that this build isn't going to go out of style. It may not be the strongest build, but it's a lot of fun to play. So the big thing here is the set piece. So every third hit of your spirit generator applies Exploding Palm. Exploding Palm is basically when you kill an enemy, it explodes, it kills all the enemies around it, causes massive damage. This way you get to get it for free. The downside is when you apply Exploding Palm using your spirit generators, it's basically unflavored. It doesn't do ice damage, fire damage, etc. It's basically just Exploding Palm with none of the extra spell buffs and stuff like that. You can still apply Exploding Palm manually to get those buffs, but you don't have to do it, and sometimes it's actually just a little bit better to keep your resources up and just use your resource generators. Second part of the set, your 7-sided strike deals 777% of its total damage with each hit. All damage taken is reduced by 77% for 7 seconds after applying Exploding Palm to an enemy. So that's good because you get an offensive and a defensive buff. And then this last piece. Increase the damage of your Exploding Palm by 9,000%, and your 7-sided strike detonates your Exploding Palm. Basically, you hypercharge your Exploding Palm, and you can set it off whenever you want. You can basically one-shot a Rift Guardian. If you get Exploding Palm, I've got a couple other things that you can use to build stacks and, raise your offense, and then you just let it go when you're ready, and the whole thing just goes off. A couple other key pieces here. The Gundo gear. Exploding Palm's on-death explosion applies Exploding Palm. It doesn't quite work that way. It actually seems to spread through enemies, which is actually better because they don't have to die before it gets applied. Lion's Claw, your 7-sided strike performs an additional 7 strikes. This one here, the Fist of Aztrak, Exploding Palm's on-death explosion damage is increased by 477%. A couple other really good things. If you've got your follower and you've got a token, the skeleton key here, your follower cannot die. If you pair that with Unity, you basically doubled your life. So I think I have around 7 million life and change. So effectively I now have 14 to 15 million life because basically half of the damage is going to my follower and just disappearing. Okay, so without further ado, we're just going to run a Greater Rift because I kind of want to show you exactly how powerful this is. The last one I played was 65, which I think is like Torment 11, 12, 13, somewhere around there. Let's just go for it. Okay, I'm just going to stop you there. Alright, so the strategy here... Whoa! Alright, I do want to point out... You still can take a decent amount of damage. I actually just narrowly avoided death there just by having a good skill. It's funny because it doesn't always feel that squishy. But as you can see, you could just kind of offensively power through stuff. I don't want to stand on the fire. I already had a near-death experience once, and I'm actually kind of waiting for a skill to cool down.
That ability is not yet recharged.
Alright, we just have to wait for their counter-explosions to go away, and then we can pick up those orbs. Yeah, it was a little funny. I just got a right out of the gate, near-death experience. Oops. I have 2 skills that actually will negate that, so I don't have to worry too much. Yeah, Greater Rifts too, sometimes you just get bad luck. Like, you get a bad situation, you just get a bad set of enemies, it's not really your thing.
It is not ready yet.
So that's why having those, you've got near-death experience as a skill, and then we've got the one from the follower, and I think that one works 100% of the time. It's got a 2-minute cooldown? So as long as I don't get killed twice within 2 minutes, I should be okay. Yeah, so what we're doing is we're basically just using Cyclone Strike to bring the enemies to us, using our resource generators to apply Exploding Palm, and just detonating it. And you don't even have to get all of the enemies. If you just tag a couple of them, the explosion should take care of most of them. Whoops, we're just gonna stand over here for a second. But I'm definitely not cutting that out, because part of the fun of Diablo is going, oops, I died.
I must wait to use that ability.
Yeah, if the game had no risk, it wouldn't be any fun. Here we go. Yeah, one of the other things I've noticed too is it's using this build, I've actually been able to get my Paragon levels up again. One of the reasons I stopped playing Diablo before is I just couldn't get any Paragon levels, and it didn't seem like I was going to be able to get anything else out of my gear I kind of got stuck. And I was a little stubborn, and I didn't want to change my build. So, it's a little bit on... Okay, it was a lot on me. I should have just looked up another build and done something with my Campus Rush Monk, but... You know, you get to a point sometimes, you play it for a while, you put it down, you play it for a while, you put it down. And I've always kind of maintained that Diablo is a side game. And that's why I played it for 3,000 hours, is I haven't played it for 3,000 hours straight. I've played it for 3,000 hours over the course of 10 years. Yeah, one of the other things I should mention is this build does actually require stacks of things. And I'm creating stacks of things. I'll go into it later, I don't want to do it right now. With your legendary gems. You know, the Golgok of Swiftness, you can have 15 stacks. It increases your dodge rate and also your damage, I believe. Oh, we got a power pylon. We're good with this one. Yeah, I'm currently kind of like testing this build out. I'm not actually going for the highest riff I can go. I'm just kind of honing my gems at this point. And just kind of slowly working my way up the ranks, because I'm still actually getting a decent amount of experience points for my Paragon levels. So I figure as long as I'm doing that, it's okay to kind of take it a little slower. Because eventually you're just going to get to a point where you can't get any further. There we go. And as you can see, we're about 5 minutes in. And I'm about 2/3 of the way done with the bar. And once that bar fills up, the Rift Guardian appears. We kill him, and we get our loot. Yeah. The other thing I haven't had to actually work in up until this point, I might have to do it, is I've got a convention of elements, which basically you get a rotating elemental buff. So this is actually a cold build. It works best with cold skills. Oops. Yeah, let's kill these guys before we go. But I haven't really been taking that convention of elements into account when I've been detonating the exploding palm, because up until now, I really haven't had to. I may have to do that as I get further in, and the Rift Guardians get a little stronger. So what that basically means is you just have to keep hitting him or dodging his attacks until the cold rotation comes. I believe the cold rotation comes after the physical. I really have to sit down and work that one out. And you basically have a 3-second window where if you hit it, your cold skills are going to do extra damage. I think it's something like 163% extra damage. But it's on top of the other 9,000 and all the other great stuff. Oh, shield pylon. That's always a good one. Yeah. So this build, too, is also a build that's actually... You're doing most of your damage from skills. And your raw damage number doesn't matter quite as much, because it's all being multiplied. Oops. Didn't even have to detonate that one with the 7-sided strike. Alright, so we'll apply Exploding Bomb. Hit him 2-3 times. We start to take damage. Oh, there he goes. I probably could have gotten all the way up to 15 stacks on him, but it was just like, yeah, why bother? Alright, so yeah, that's the run. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Oh, hang on a minute, I gotta kill these guys. Stop bothering me while I'm trying to power up my gems. Alright, so real quick, I'll show you guys. We're using Bane of the Stricken. Each attack you make against an enemy increases damage it takes from your attacks by 1.46%. Second bonus is gain 25% increased damage from against bosses' Rift Guardians. The Golgok of Swiftness. Gain swiftness with every attack, increasing your attack speed by 1%, your dodge by 1.11, and if you don't know, the blue numbers actually go up every time you power up for 4 seconds. The effect stacks up to 15 times, and you also get 1% cooldown reduction per stack of swiftness, so definitely mash the button. And Bane of the Trapped, increased damage against enemies under the effects of control pairing effects by 33.3%, and gain an aura that reduces your movement speed of enemies by within 15 yards by 30%. So kind of what I'm doing here is, if you take a look, the upgrade here is 30% chance, and the upgrade here is 60% chance. So when that drops to 30, that's when I bump it to the next Torment level. And we're just going to keep doing that until it actually gets to the point where I physically just can't get through the next level. Oh, bad luck today. Okay, 1 out of 4. That's kind of crap. And I got like a 0.01% increase.
I need to go back.
But yeah, that's kind of the strategy I'm using right now, is I'm basically kind of honing the gems and seeing how far I can push it. And the other great thing is when you finish and you go in here and you talk to Auric, you get a crap ton of experience points.
Well fought, Nephilim.
Yeah, that filled up most of my bar. So, alright, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video and you are interested in the game, please pick up the game. I really enjoy it. Diablo 4 should be coming out at some point, but I'm also really excited for the remastered version of Diablo 2, which is also going to come out for PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. So, thank you guys for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.